am going to be reacting to Dano Draws. The guy who kind of inspired me, I guess.
Meow 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 meow
Meow meow meow meow meow
meow meow
meow meow meow meow meow meow
meow
meow
meow meow
meow meow meow
meow meow. Hello. Wait, Ricky, there we.
meow meow meow
Meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. The original ending of The Lion King is terrifying. Alright, we all know The Lion King. Most of us grew up watching it. Nope, not you. But what's interesting is that its ending, which is already pretty scary for a kid's movie. I know it's not scary, but like, listen, you can't go from Timon and Pumbaa singing Hakuna Matata to Scar getting his flesh eaten by hyenas. But apparently, the original ending, which actually got as far as getting storyboarded, meaning it was going to be in the film, showcased Scar being burned alive. And not just his shadow burning or him falling into fire. I mean, actually, we see him laughing while burning to death. And honestly, while usually I'm like, it's cool to see Disney go darker, in this case, yeah, I'm good. If I was a 7-year-old seeing that, I probably wouldn't be alright for a good few years, but...
If I heard that, if I actually saw that in theaters, if I was even born at the time, I would have definitely been hyperventilating.
Now you know
When I
why.
see lines. Oh yeah, I heard about this. They put Elmo's head on a Derek, like Lord of the Fly style. I literally just watched the movie with that reference.
Is the Lo-Fi Girl an idiot? You all know the Lo-Fi Girl, who's the star of so many Lo-Fi Beats compilations as she studies for hours and hours on end. And listen, while I respect the dedication, something is wrong. Because she originally debuted in 2015, which is over 10 years ago, meaning she's been studying for 10 years non-stop. So I reasoned that either she's studying to be a brain surgeon, which needs a lot of schooling, or she's just not very good at school, to which one...
I think maybe it's autism. No, I'm just kidding.
My buddies replied, she's up 24 hours a day studying. Maybe if she would actually go to her classes, then she wouldn't be failing. Which, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, maybe she's just going for multiple degrees for some reason, but still, yeah, I'm curious if we'll ever get listening to lo-fi beats while performing open heart surgery, or something that actually makes use of her supposed many degrees. But yeah, I was just wondering. Toy Story 5 was actually great. Alright, short review, but it took a different approach from That Time Forgot, dealt with the characters in satisfying ways, and listen, you can stick to the original trilogy and say it was perfect all you want, I agree. But looking at the new movies as a second trilogy kind of makes me like them a lot more. Pixar said they have a good idea for the 6th one to focus on Buzz and a grown-up Bonnie, and then we've got 4 about Woody.
I agree with you. But just for saying Toy Story 4 was really bad, I am personally mad. Because I liked the Toy Story 4.
And 5 about Jessie, and I think that's great. People love the first 3, so let's get DLC of 1 movie each focusing on the main characters and wrapping them up. Also, I'm totally gonna force my kids to watch this so they feel guilt about being on their iPads instead of
Now that is just funny.
being creative with their toys. I know I'm a shorts YouTuber, so of all people I should be defending brain-rotting kids on iPads so I get more money, but yeah, no. And with the 5th movie, Toy Story is currently the highest-rated pentology ever.
No, that's actually... Hopefully it becomes the number 1 hexology.
Which, I mean, what was the competition? Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones? Yeah, I think Toy Story deserves the title. But now you know why I think Toy Story 5 was... A single machine in 1983 almost ended the world. Alright, so the Cold War lasted from 1947 to 1991, right? The Soviet Union and the United States were both terrified that at any second one of us would launch our nukes and lead to a full-on...
If this actually happened, I would never be born.
nuclear warfare and drop us right in the Fallout timeline. But what you may not know is that we actually got a lot closer to this than you'd think. Because in the early 1970s, the Soviets had created a satellite warning system to alert them if any United States missiles were detected, so they would have enough time to declare an emergency and to retaliate. Codenamed Oko, and it was officially put into action in 1982. And just 1 year later, it almost killed us all. Because in 1983, it was announced that 5 missiles had been launched by the United States, and that the Soviets needed to launch their rockets back immediately. But thank the heavens, the man in charge, Stanislav Petrov, just didn't believe it. In reality, the system had misidentified sunlight bouncing off the clouds as missiles, but they had to wait 30 minutes between the warning and the nuke actually potentially landing and killing them. And I cannot imagine the suspense. Tragically, Petrov never got an award for refusing to launch the Soviet missiles because it would have required the military and scientists to admit their satellites had made a mistake. But still, we can all thank this man that we're not living like this. But now you know how. A single machine. The real reason cows have horns? Now, a lot of people think it's for 2 reasons. First, self-defense. I mean, bulls charge horns first, so it makes sense. And second, to scare off predators and establish dominance. But while both of those are true, the biggest and most important reason is something not a lot of people actually know about. And it's why people feel like dehorning cattle is inhumane. And that reason is actually temperature control. See, in reality, these horns have blood vessels inside of them that lets cattle regulate their body temperature, either cooling their blood or conserving body heat. So you can imagine that chopping these off, on top of just being really painful to the animals, also screws up their ability to keep themselves warm or cold. But yeah, now you know. The real reason... Okay, new Shrek 5 trailer dropped, and I'll keep it short unlike last time, but listen, even though they changed some stuff since the original teaser, like bringing Shrek's nose back and spacing out his eyes to look a little more like the old Shrek, which I appreciate, and they fixed his kid's eyes, overall, I still just feel weird. Listen, to me it feels like if you took someone you know really well, and they still sound and act like your friend, but something's just off, like they're possessed behind the eyes or something, which is why so many people keep comparing this to AI, because we know how Shrek should look, but it's still just slightly wrong enough. Just like...
Oh shoot. It got partially blocked. Any of y'all, if y'all see this video, anyone within a different country, like anyone within a different country, yeah, you may not be able to see the shorts and the video because of copyright.
All of the AI-generated ripoff versions. Trying, but not quite getting there. Now, of course, it's DreamWorks. The actual animation is great. They're doing the best with what they've got. I'm not blaming the animators at all, just whatever guy at the top decided to update all of the models to make them more cartoony. And to take away the one thing that really made Shrek stand out as an animated movie. As for the story, further away, sure, it's regular sequel stuff, and I'm still on board and excited about the aged-up kids, but we'll see how it goes when the actual film comes out. And I'm also sure me and most other people will get used to the style watching the actual movie. Yeah, hopefully.
What? Oh yeah, I forgot I watched this trailer. Okay, I'm not gonna really do any, like...
Why the Bishop chess piece?
I know this is a reaction video, even though my first reaction video really sucked.
Looks so weird. Okay, I knew it wasn't just me.
Because I kind of did bad with it, like... I'm not like that type of guy with a big loadout, like...
Like all of the other chess pieces pretty much make sense. King and queen got crowns. Sure, the knight is just a horse, which knights ride, of course. The rook is a castle, alright, and the pawns are just the least detailed little blobs because they're so expendable. But the bishop always looked super weird to me. In my mind, I always saw it as like a little clown dude looking at the sky with his mouth open. You know, this would be his nose, and maybe he'd have like eyes here or whatever. And I just thought he was this little freaky guy that had a quirk where he could only move diagonally. Seriously, in my brain, all of the chessboard was a medieval battle except for this one little Alice in Wonderland vibe homunculus that just acts like a wild card from a portal in battle. But in reality, it's a bishop, like from a church. And this is his hat. Of course, I'm an idiot.
It's time to get FIFA World Cup ready.
The Backrooms director wants to make a Portal movie. Okay, so most of you know that I am the biggest Portal fan ever, and news broke this week that Kane Parsons, director of the Backrooms movie that just broke records and made more than $100 million in its opening weekend, even though he is only 20 years old, has said that his dream project is a Portal movie. Since Portal was a big inspiration to him with its liminal spaces and haunting atmosphere, and honestly, please, Valve, let him do it! Alright, if you didn't know, a Portal movie and a Half-Life movie have both been in development purgatory with J.J. Abrams for over 13 years, when Kane was 7, but honestly, at this point, please, he'd do it better than any Hollywood director. Although, and this is going to be my hottest take ever, but I personally would love a Portal movie that's closer to Portal 2 than Portal 1. I know, that's insane. A lot of people love Portal 1's vibes so much more because it's adjacent to horror. You're alone with GLaDOS being creepy and the bloody Ratman dens and everything, but gosh, I just love Portal 2. It's lighthearted sci-fi, and it just still has this dark moments, but it's overall kind of funny still. I don't know. But I'm sure one of the reasons Kane wants to make a Portal movie is to be loyal to the liminal horror vibes of the first one, and honestly, either way, I trust him, and I'll be seated. But man, you gotta get the Portal 2 vibes for the second one, and get J.K. Simmons and Stephen Merchant to reprise their roles. They just have to. But yeah, either way, I'm really hyped, and I have high hopes now that I know. The Backrooms, people in the 1930s used to dangle their babies in cages outside.
What? No. Absolute way. No way anyone would do that at all, bro. If they actually did that, nah. Your baby could literally fall from a very, from like, I don't know, 100 feet? If you live in an apartment.
Windows. Yep, it's exactly as insane as it sounds, but in the 1920s and...
feet down if you have it and upstairs and downstairs.
1930s, it was common to buy baby cages for your children. In fact, it was actually seen as a progressive parenting tactic based on medical advice, where if you weren't doing this, then you weren't taking the best care of your kid because they thought that giving the baby fresh air and sunlight would help decrease its risk of diseases. Sorry, fresh air and sunlight? What is it, a plant? Anyway, I know you may be shocked to hear this, but dangling a child outside of a high-rise apartment in cheap metal cages isn't actually safe. And a few people realized that maybe risking a disease wasn't as bad as risking your newborn child falling 20 stories onto the pavement. So, yeah, they stopped doing that. Thank goodness.
That's what I'm talking
People in the 19... Deltarune Chapter 5 is coming out in less than 2 weeks.
I hate these webtoon ads. They are so stupid.
Deltarune Chapter 5 is coming out in less than 2 weeks. Oh my god.
As you know, I am a fellow Deltarune fan, but I have not played the game. Sadly, because it's like about 24. Actually, no, $25 on Steam, which is expensive. Unlike Nintendo, it's only like about $15. That's okay. That feels still worse.
Guys, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the Nintendo Direct yesterday wasn't all that great for a lot of people, me included. I mean, Nintendo Sports Resort is cool because you can use Mii's, and the Ocarina of Time remake and Kingdom Hearts 4 announcements were way cool, but no one cares about any of that because Deltarune Chapter 5 is in less than 2 weeks on June 24th. Woo! And on top of that, in the Deltarune newsletter, Toby Fox said that Chapter 6 was coming along pretty well, and he said it's not unrealistic to expect that the team may start work on Chapter 7 before the end of the year, and I just... Oh my gosh, my heart. I had zero faith it would be in the Direct, but I have never been more happy in my life to be absolutely dead wrong. Oh, yes! I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell.
This guy's almost 22, by the way, and he's acting like this over a video game.
If I had a gun, I'd shoot you. You need to get off Twitter. It's being a bad influence on you thinking people can't get hyped over things.
What? Yeah, you're right.
I'm streaming it the first chance I get on Saturday, June 27th. Absolute peak. Deltarune Chapter... Jobs that pay a lot of money without college. Okay, so your whole lives you were probably told that if you don't go to college, you won't get a high-paying job and you'll be stuck fighting bankruptcy your whole life, unless you drop out and create Facebook or something. But I'm here to tell you, no, college is not...
Fun fact, I do not like X/Twitter. I do not like them for previous reasons. It is because of someone who shall not be named.
The only way. And I'm also not saying that your next step is just to be a YouTuber or something.
Yeah. I mean, being a full-time YouTuber is a good job, but it really doesn't give you that much money. But being a doctor would give you, like, a lot of money.
And bet on luck, because there's plenty of real jobs, that'll actually make you tons of money. So here's a list. First, electrician / repairman. In a world increasingly flooded with robots, or just like elevators, lights, and outlets, people will always need other, smarter people who know how to fix those things or set them up. And shockingly, a lot of the time, you don't need college. If you get a good internship with something like an elevator repair company, after a bit of time, their salaries can get up to well over 100 grand a year. Same goes for freaking plumbers. Yeah, I know, you're probably thinking of some neckbeard with their bum sticking out, but some of...
Actually so relatable for real, bro. Because I had a plumber with dark background. Why is that so relatable?
Those guys make over 200 grand a year. So yeah, they can look however they want. Another option, medicine. Yeah, you could go to college and be a doctor, or you could just study and take a license exam and be an EMT, or a care technician, or a medical assistant. Other no-college jobs include an air...
Because my mom is actually a doctor, to be honest. And my dad.
Traffic controller, sales rep,
he's retired.
real estate agent, even a garbage man. That's right, I bet when your teacher was lecturing you about, you better learn long division or else you're gonna end up a garbage man, it probably didn't include the detail that some garbage men make more money than they do. Listen, the list is genuinely endless, and while college can definitely be great, in 2026, debt can also be insane. And while it can make it easier, it also doesn't guarantee you a job, so I'm just letting you know that there's other paths and to not get stressed if you're afraid of the future. But yeah, now you know about... The Among Us TV show is finally out. So, is it good? Well, first, I need to say that the way it was released is
yeah,
really
I
weird,
agree
because out of...
with you on the way it was released, like... I have not watched the full show yet. I've watched like half of the episode.
Nowhere they announced that it would be shadow dropping yesterday during Summer Games Fest. But even funnier is they released it on Paramount Plus before the announcement, to everyone's confusion. And apparently production on the show finished back in 2024. And they just sat on it for 2 years, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of good. It's kind of glad that it didn't release in 2025, because 2025 wasn't really the great year for movies, except for the Marvel movies, I guess. That's in my opinion. Do not, yeah, I have my comments off.
I don't know, but anyway, how is the show? Well, I binged it all, and hey, I ain't gonna lie, it's good. It didn't have to be a masterpiece, but it was funny enough, had a stacked cast of actors that I'm a sucker for. Slightly edgier than I thought it would be, which was a positive, and the animation was good. It wasn't fantastic, but I've seen online a lot of people posting bits that were poorly animated on purpose as a joke, and then pointing to it and saying, "This show looks terrible," which is goofy. Again, it's not like a masterpiece, but it worked. It's Among Us, man. Can you really make the characters look that much? Sorry. But yeah, I don't know what else you could have wanted. It's an animated version of the best rounds of Among Us, and in my opinion, I don't know how an Among Us TV show could have come out any better. And if it wasn't for the blood and that one scene, it honestly could have probably fit right in on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network back in the day. Although, I'll be honest, sadly, I'd be shocked if it got a season 2 with how they mangled the release. Even if I
really think... Okay, I'm gonna drop my review once I finish the whole show.
want it. And side note, I can't believe that the short I made when the show was announced was almost 3 years ago. My gosh, time flies. How did people book flights before the internet? Okay, this is such a dumb question, but I saw a lot of people